Welcome to Powering Through Life, and I'm your host, Teresa Sims. Each week on Powering Through Life, my guest and I will discuss a special topic that is close to their heart. Together, we will explore the challenges they have faced in life and learn what strategies and tools they have used to power through their life. So welcome to Powering Through Life. Hey, and welcome today to Powering Through Life. I have a really amazing guest with me. Her name is Amanda Gazzola. And Amanda is a serial entrepreneur and is an author of Amazon's best-selling book of Finally, a Diet That Works for Me. Oh, that's a great title. I like that. Amanda loves to help women transform physically and mentally and has firsthand experience in transformation, competing in multiple fitness competitions, speaking on stage across Ontario, Canada, running boot camps for hundreds of clients. Oh, my goodness. Amanda is the creator of Relove and Rise Coaching and Consulting and has her own podcast series. She also has been featured as a regular guest on a Rogers TV C-Suite series with Danielle Deshaw. Welcome, Amanda. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Teresa. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad we get to do this because I really like this topic. Yeah. I mean, dieting and weight loss and fitness and all that stuff have been actually one of my main tormentors my entire life. So
this is so many people.
Exactly.
Including myself.
Yeah. So that's why this is a great topic. So the topic today is stop dieting and start listening to your body. Mm-hmm. Great. Do you want to explain what that means?
Yes, because like you and so many people that it's felt like a torment, like, you know, you're in school, like in public school, like elementary, high school, and you're just figuring yourself out and you're always feeling like you're trying to catch up with everyone else, comparing yourself. And then it's on to career and it's nonstop. It's go, go, go. And so why I have that as a main topic is because that was me. That was definitely me because I definitely I compared myself to every single female that was around me. And I was always trying to be like them because I didn't know who exactly I was and who I was supposed to be or who I aspired to be. I didn't know what that felt like or didn't even know what that looked like. And so basically being a busy bee, go, 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 very career oriented, trying to figure myself out. I just never listened to exactly what I wanted. I was always following what fitness magazines told me. I was always following what coaches were telling me. It got to a point where I just didn't even know what that looked like. And so it wasn't until competing, listening to my coaches, having my first personal trainer just say, you know, have that mind muscle connection. When you're contracting that bicep and you're squeezing, you're thinking about that bicep and you're thinking about, you know, the muscle fibers, you're thinking about the blood palpitation, you're thinking about, you know, making that, like, concentrating on that muscle. And so that's when I started slowing down a little bit. But then it wasn't until, like, you know, competing, you're trying to diet yourself down, that I didn't know that I had a dairy allergy. Like I always felt bloated every time I ate. And that was my tummy was the only thing that couldn't lean down. And it wasn't until I met up with a naturopath that I was just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And that's what I mean by listening to your body, because you have the signs and signals, but we constantly ignore them. And so how are you supposed to know what works for you? And how are you supposed to understand that if you're always following everybody else, not listening to your own needs and slowing down? So this is a huge topic that I definitely want to discuss, because these are just little incidences that I've had that have popped up in my life. And I find that many of us ignore it because we have momhood, careers. We're constantly just trying to keep up with the Joneses that are around us.
Yeah, very true. And, you talk about when you're younger and in school and constantly comparing yourself. I mean, here I was the same thing, this 5'9" farm girl, well built, and I did sports like crazy. So I wasn't a thin person, and all my friends were like 5'2", very petite, and it's like, geez. So you're right, constantly comparing and, watching what you eat, but at the same time, I had no structure with what I ate. It was just, dinner time was meat and vegetables. However, most of the time that was my only meal during the day.
Yeah. Yep.
So eating disorders come right into play with all of this, doesn't it?
Oh, they definitely do, because you're always thinking that something's wrong with you. You're thinking like, why isn't this easy for me? Like my friend does this and and it works for her, but why doesn't it work for me? And those are all common themes that definitely happen in periods of our life. And so, but at the same time, I think it's important to recognize it and go through so that you can see like all like and I wouldn't even call them mistakes and failures. I think that you learn from all of them so that when you're ready to accept, hey, let's just slow things down a little bit and not just do these fad things that people do. Let's just like really connect and take time with myself. Then I think that's when the magic starts happening. But because you definitely don't want to go back, and you won't go back when you have this feeling. I mean, you have this feeling of like, owning who you are.
Yeah, exactly. And I liked what you said originally about visualizing the muscle and
Hmm.
blood pumping. And that's one thing I've learned to do as part of my rehab after the car accident was to try to release knotted muscles and stretch through it and elongate the muscles. But it takes a
Love that.
lot of conscious focus.
Yes.
I'm learning to really zero in and picture the muscle as it's being worked, and you can almost visualize it being unknotted and just stretching out. So key to really pay attention, isn't it?
That is a huge, powerful tool. That is definitely something that I even started learning in competitions, was the power of visualization, because we are so powerful, but we take all these beautiful sensories for granted. Like we should just always just know, like we should just do it once and it should just like fall into place and work. And that was definitely my mentality as well. But a visualization definitely helps you connect. And I love that, that's been a part of your rehab and your therapy, because that is a part of meditation as well.
Yeah.
Like that, like meditation can come in so many forms. And in my boot camps, especially, like one of my boot campers told me that because I'm doing the workout with them, or they're doing it and I'm trying to talk to them and tell them everything that is going on that they should be feeling, that like they're using their like the what I'm saying through auditory, but then they're visualizing in their body everything that they're feeling. And there has been aha moments, and that is a powerful tool in competition. You're playing with a different part of you. And this is getting way out of topic, but why I think it's so powerful, the power of visualization, is because when you can connect and get right into that like immediately when you're like squeezing that muscle. And that's just one form and idea. But like, when you're wanting to create change for yourself, sometimes you do have to create an alter ego. Sometimes you have to create someone that of whom you want to be. And it might not be you, but it is a part that is going to be that you're turning in, that you want to transform into. And so I'm going to keep it at that, because like it's such a huge topic. But visualization is a part of the change. It's a part of creating that blueprint of who you want to be. And I love that tool is so that you use that as well.
That's fantastic. And that reminds me completely of neurolinguistic programming
Mm-hmm.
with your circle of excellence. That is the spot where you are your most excellent self. So your alter ego can be that most excellent self. You pay attention to all the senses. You alert your senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, hearing, all of it. And it really can make such a difference for how you approach your program or your new way of being. So fantastic work.
Yeah,
Excellent,
I love
excellent
it.
stuff.
Well, it's all through people that like great authorities. Like Tony Robbins is like a huge, like he's the huge component of doing the NLP and all of his strategy sessions when you attend his live or even online. Like everything is through your sensories, so that you can start retaining the information and start feeling it, because then you start embodying it. So I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's on a subconscious level. It's not always on the conscious level, which is what we think is when we're doing diets and we're doing fitness and everything else. We think it's our conscious mind that
It
is in
starts off
control.
that way. Yeah. It
It
starts
does.
off that way
Yeah,
until you start like really doing the deep dive work. Like weight loss, it's not, in the end we start with weight loss, but it's so much more. We all have a journey in our weight loss that shares with us, like it's just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah.
absolutely. So, Amanda, how do you coach women who come to you? For example, if I were to come to you and say, "Oh my goodness, I am in this space in my life where I'm constantly on the go, working here, working there, busy doing this. I don't have time to really spend a great deal of time in the kitchen or in the gym. How do you help me to lose, say, maybe 40 pounds? That's a big
Yes.
goal, but it's a reasonable. I mean, a lot of people come with that, I would imagine.
Oh, totally. And that's a huge component. Like so when someone comes to me, I let them just basically speak in regards to where they are at. I want them to tell me all in raw form exactly. So before I do that, I love when we feel like they fill out a very intensive like a consultation sheet. And this is before that they even sign up with me, because I need to know who you are. Like I can tell you all these things that I do, but if I'm not meeting you exactly where you're at, I don't know if I'm a good fit for you, because I'm interviewing you just as much as you're interviewing me. And I want us to always be, communication is a huge component, because I'm not just a weight loss person. I want to be in your head. I want to see what you're feeling. I want to feel what you're feeling, because I want to help you get out of your own way. And the only way to do it is to definitely meet you where you're at. So that would be something where I would start with them there. And then I'm about small goals. I'm about literally, taking that one step at a time with them. And the thing is, with that one step at a time, it sounds so easy, but if that was the case, so many people would do it. And so I'm one that's not here, I don't give you a plan, because I don't believe, and I was the queen of plans that people always gave me it, but I didn't retain anything from it. I want you to feel, touch, see, and embody everything that you're doing. So do I give you something that you're going to definitely start off with? For sure. But I want you to make it a part of your lifestyle. So I want to know what your morning routine is. I want to know what your successes look like. I want to know what demotivates you. I want to know all those things. So it's, when I'm working with someone, I definitely am. I want to be in their head, so they'll fill this out, and then I want to know exactly. So then I meet up with them online, and I do coaching or PT sessions with them online. I want to help them through these sort of things, these limiting beliefs that they have, and we definitely have the one-on-one where I want them to like, because I'm a coach as well, so I want to definitely have the more of the let's sit and chat and see where we're at. So I don't know if this answers everything, because I just felt like I just said a bunch of things there, but it's not just a bunch of things. Like I care about people so much that like their wins are my wins. And so if I can definitely, the biggest thing is where that I've had people cry, because when I'm just like, I'm meeting where you're at, I'm not just here about giving you a plan. It's just like this whole weight, they just let go, and you can just feel that they could breathe, and they're crying because it's just like, thank you, because that's what they need in the end. They need accountability, because they can't be accountable for themselves at this point, because that's the part that they keep doing. They keep giving up on themselves, because everything else matters more, to like their job, their kids, their spouse, everything else matters more, because that's what they think. But if you're only not, if you're not charging your battery, if you're not filling up your cup, and you're, it doesn't need, you don't need a lot of time to doing this. Like half an hour, like every morning, just to yourself, is a great start. And then when you think about it, like that, add 7 days of that, that's like, already, can't do the math that quickly, but it's 2.5, 3 hours more than they've ever done in the past month, probably. So accountability, I'm their coach. I'm there to help them. I'm there to be their guide. I'm there to, if they need to have like, let go of what they're holding on to and be that punching bag, I'm that to them, because that's what they need, because that in the end, it's not weight loss. 40 pounds, yes, well, that weight will definitely come off, no problem, but it's for the rest of your life. That's what we're working on, not just this like quick fix in 3 months, boom, you're done. No, not at all.
It's more of a lifestyle behavior challenge, or not behavior challenge, but behavior change. So
Yes.
you're changing the patterns and the behaviors that you've created in the past that really aren't working for you, which
Mm-hmm.
yes, and then you're making new adjustments that are easy to follow, and having someone that like you that can coach the individual through that and be their accountability partner. You're right, accountability is massive.
That's the
And
hugest part, especially like right now with COVID and stuff like
yeah,
that. Like accountability, you're alone, like more than you feel alone more than half the time now. And so it's hard to be accountable for yourself, because like what gets you up in the day right now, other than your kids, like, you know, some people aren't working here, and that's really sad, because like they're not feeling on purpose, and they're where they're wanting to go in their life. So they're just letting things go. And it's easier just to sit back and watch Netflix at this point, because yes, it is easier just to like, you know, not think about something, because like when you start thinking, then you start feeling bad about yourself. And so there's a lot of stuff that come into, you know, that's why I'm here to help you through this, because you do matter in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the fact that you develop a rapport with the individual that you're
Yes.
coaching or you're working with, because that is so key as well. I mean, if I do my due diligence when I am looking for someone to help me out with something, whether that be a naturopath, a chiropractor, coach, you name it, I do my due diligence. And if that person doesn't fit with my value system and doesn't, we don't have a good rapport together, we're not going to work well together, honestly.
That's the
And
hugest part. Do
yeah,
your homework is a
yeah,
huge one. If you don't feel that connection, it ain't work. Like then you're not going to be able to fulfill like why you signed up with this person. So I love that you mentioned that, because that's so big.
well, it
Yeah.
is. And you know, that's the first major hurdle, I think, because you can go out and hire anyone to
Yes.
do that particular uh, coaching for you. But if they make you angry, or they make you feel lesser than you did when you started out, or they're constantly yelling at you, and yelling, like for me, would not do any good, because that would just make me more
Mm,
stubborn, and I dig my heels in deeper, because that's the kind of person I am. And I'm aware of it.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah. So you need to make sure that this person stands for everything that you're looking for. You're
definitely.
shopping for yeah, you're shopping. So why would you buy something inferior? Start with the
Mhm.
best, and do your reading, do your homework first. It's
For
really,
sure. I
yeah.
love that you mentioned that, because that is a huge component. When I signed up with my first personal trainer, I already knew who she was, and I love what she stood for. She was someone that I looked up to. So that's a big one. That's why I asked the questions, what motivates you and what demotivates you, because you do need to be challenged through this. You are going to feel days where, you know, your trainer or your coach is going to bug you, but it might be in the best way. But if you're feeling irked under your skin, where you don't want to show up, where you're just like, oh, you know what I mean? You're just not interested. You rather go and do something else. You know, there is a disconnect there, but you have to ask yourself, why is there a disconnect? Is it me or is it them? And figure that out, because sometimes, yeah, we're not going to feel like we want to go to the gym some days. We're going to train some days. Like we definitely, we're human. We have those feelings. But if you're feeling like, you know, that you're not on the same level, where your values are not, where your core values are not meeting, and you're feeling certain parts that you haven't felt before, then definitely check in with yourself. I love that. Yeah.
Because it's supposed to make you feel better in the long run. It's not supposed to
Yes.
make you feel the opposite way. And you know, there are situations like that, and we need to be aware of it, and we need to plan. And you know, sometimes you have to go through 5 or 6 people before you actually find the one that is
100%.
best for you, and you'll know it immediately, right? Because
You
you.
will know. Oh yeah, definitely. Because there's a fire that's lit underneath you.
Mhm.
If and that's, you have to let that fire keep burning, and so you have to keep figuring out what's keeping you going and stuff like that. You have to, it's like that awareness is so huge, because those, like when that waking up starts happening, you start feeling alive, and every day starts feeling brighter and shinier. And you're just like, man, like, you know that you're in a good place. So, and that's where your homework needs to come in, where you have to check in and be like, what? So this is, I need to keep this going, because this motivates me. This is definitely, I need to keep doing. So what can I do to keep helping myself? How can I make this more my reality? Because in the end, it is the start of your reality, but you have to keep it going. And so you have, you know, motivation definitely dies, but that's where you're creating that new habit to come in.
Yeah, absolutely. And your new reality and visualization of how this will make you feel at the end, you know, not
Mm-hmm.
the end, but you know, when you're finished, you hit your goals, you know,
What happens after the goals? That's when the actual work really starts coming in, because what happens after that you've gotten to that bit, that accomplishment? So that 40 pounds, you're breaking it up into a lot of small goals there. But after the 40 pounds, it's like, what's next? This is now like where you have to create that lifestyle to keep going, because that, it's not like you stop everything. You're continuing everything because you've made it a part of your lifestyle. So sure, some things are definitely going to change. 120%. That's what you've wanted. But like, in there, you've had to create some good habits to keep it going, to keep your goals alive.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with creating new little goals to keep going, and just to keep yourself healthy and keep yourself on track.
Well, you're feeling like a new person by then, and it's and again, you're still you, but you're a better version of who you wanted to be. So you are that person now. It's like, and by that time, you've already thought about probably some new things, anyways, because you feel like you're there. You want to do more. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And when a woman comes to you with low body image, like she does not see herself well, may not be for any reason other than that's what the story has been playing in her head, for a lot of years. What do you do with that individual? How do you work through that?
Again, there's a reason why they feel the way that they feel. Mm-hmm. And I can't change that at that point for them, but I definitely am an ear for them. Like when, for instance, there's some really close people that are going through that in my life right now. And I've been there for sure. And so I definitely can feel where they're at, because I'm a very empathetic person. And the thing is, when they're telling you these things, like part of them, you can be like, no, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. But until they start facing it. So my biggest thing is when they're in that start phase, when they get a compliment, is to start saying thank you. Mm-hmm. No matter if they feel it or not. And I know that fake it till you make it is not the right term, but some part of you doesn't believe it. So you saying thank you is just a good start. So because when you start working with someone, you do start getting compliments. You might not feel them yet. You might be like, oh, they're just saying that. You start putting these contexts into your head, and that's just a normal feeling. So one thing I've really learned is, like, when I started my thing, is just to say thank you, because they're saying it. And even though I don't feel it, there just has to be a part that you have to start letting in, start receiving. And that receiving is really huge, because I'm one to go and give and give and give, but receiving is a super hard one. So that's the part where you just start saying thank you. From there, then I think the thing is, as you start going along, I know for myself, I had to believe in other people before I could believe in myself, before I could believe in. So if they said something to me, started off with a thank you, and then it's like, well, it must be true what they're saying, because, why would they be saying these things? So I started believing in them before I could believe in myself. So I do believe that there's something to be said where you start growing you're starting to grow. Mm-hmm. And then from there, then that's when the magic starts happening, where one day you just you're like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. Or you start seeing something on the scale change, or you start seeing through measurement. And the thing is, when I'm coaching with someone and I'm working with them, I'm not there to blow smoke up their butts by any stretch, but I am there to be like, I'm a no bullshitter. I will tell exactly how I feel. And it comes from a beautiful place within, to being like, till they can start seeing it for themselves. So it starts slowly. I'm not going to say compliments, and I'm not going to tell them, no, they're wrong right away. But I'm going to say, starts like saying thank you. I'm going to start working with their mind a little bit to start seeing things in a different perspective. Like, well, this is and then from there, they're going to believe in me because I'm believing in them. And then from there, they're going to start seeing themselves. So there's a cycle that goes through, for sure.
And
I don't know if that makes sense.
It does
Okay.
Totally, because what I'm hearing is you speak from compassion, honesty, and from your heart. And that's what we need. We don't need to hear all the fluff.
No.
And you're right about having the compliment, because I went through that stage in my life too, where I would hear the compliment, and you're always trying to reply with, well,
it's just my makeup.
Yeah. Or, oh, I really like that top you're wearing. Oh, well, thanks. I got it here. Well, nobody asked where you got it from. They just said they liked it. So just absorb the compliment and learn to say thank you. And eventually that feeling will change within you, and you'll start seeing and believing, especially if it comes from a place of honesty and caring and compassion, you'll start believing in it yourself. And that's when the change happens. And wow, it's so exciting, isn't it?
It is definitely the mind, like our mindset is meant to always think like it's so hard to receive compliments. And I did this really intensive course that was called Own Your Greatness. And that was there was an exercise that we had to do. Okay, this gives me goosebumps, because I think that there's something to be said about this conversation where we had the room completely dark. I'm feeling it right now. And there was music going on in the background. And then we had about, at this time, this was pre-COVID, like 2018, but we had about 20 to 30 people each side. There's about 60 people on this course that we were doing. And the lights were closed and we had to walk this straight line. And then the music was playing and it was dark and people were whispering on each side into your ear, because you've grown up with these people for the past 2 years, because this was a course that we did, all the amazing things about you that they knew about you. And, there was some that was just like, Amanda, your energy is amazing. Amanda, your smile is beautiful. Amanda, you light up a room. Amanda, and you're in there and you're hearing it. And because the music's playing and because it's quiet, well, it feels quiet because there's people that are in your ear and it's dark. It was emotional, and you weren't allowed to say anything. You were just allowed to hear and receive. And in that, it was very powerful, because at the end, you felt like you were on clouds. You were emotional. This is like, you never had anything like this happen to your life, but it's because, things probably do happen in your life that we block out because we're like, oh, it's just because I have makeup on. Oh yeah, I just got that from the dollar store. Or, oh yeah, this was on sale. Like we always backhand our comments with something, that we have to think that we have to fill. But when we had to receive and not say anything, that was the best way to start getting out of your own head.
I like that. I mean, I could feel that energy. That's a great exercise.
It was one of the most memorable exercises I've ever done in my life. It was so powerful. And then we've had to see everyone do it. We had to, and when I went back into the line, then we had to continue doing that until everyone got done in class. So this was like almost took about an hour to do. It's like the minute that you go down like that road of, people whispering in your ear, it was just like, it was so emotional, but it was one of the most beautiful experiences.
Oh, that's fantastic. We all need to have those little voices, that come out and just tell us how great we are, because we forget. We don't even know half the time, and especially women, moms, wives, whatever the case may be. If we're not on the list, then we don't even know how great we are, how awesome we are. And we need to be up on the top of that list, knowing what we possess.
Totally. Some days it's not going to be easy to do that, but don't let those days deter the rest of like the 364 days that are in the year. This is the part where it is much more tougher than ever than now to get to feel that, powerful, feel purposeful, feel amazing, feel strong, feel in control, feeling all these things, because we're feeling so powerless. We feel like we don't even know what to do with our day, to how to get off the computer, to go for everything feels heavy. So it's like, what can I do to start doing these little things for me? And sometimes it is about writing that with makeup on that mirror, just so that, you're talking to yourself. Some days I am like, Amanda, you're doing a great job, because I work for myself and I feel more lonely than ever because, the networking isn't there. Everything's online. So it does get the best of you. But this is where you're like, okay, what can I do to take charge? Because I don't want to feel like this. So I have the pleasure of going away to go up north on the weekend to my mom's cottage. But not everyone has that. So it's like, you have to start creating these little things for yourself, for what these rituals, whatever they are, you have to do that. And it's not easy, but that's the things in easy are why we need to do it in life. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So these times are more important than ever. You have to know that you're worth it. And that's the part where, what you feel some days and the worth, that you're worth it. It's like, okay, you got to just do it. And then you're going to be happy that you did it.
Absolutely. And, when I'm doing some coaching, I usually, one of the tools I use with my clients is to find their 3 power words.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. And that you put those 3 power words on sticky notes everywhere you go, on your phone, on your computer screensaver, whatever the case
we have to
may
do.
be. Yeah. Because it's not fake it till you make it. It's hear it again and again until you believe it, because it's the
Yes,
truth.
it is
know,
so the truth.
and that those three power words really can make a lot of difference when you're not having one of those great days, but you just need that little pick me up, and you say, oh, I'm courageous, I'm resilient, and I'm honest. And those are my words, by the way.
Love it.
And it's just, it puts, it just changes the energy within you and around you. And that can make the whole difference in your mindset for that day, whether or not you're going to eat nutritiously, you're going to do your workout,
Yes,
all that kind of stuff. So, right. So,
totally. When you're in the feeling the worst and you're going for that bag of chips, for instance, like, and I'm not saying chips are bad, but when you feel like poop and you're going for stuff that's going to make you feel more like poop, then it's an endless debacle of feeling like poop. So it's like, if you're already feeling like poop, sometimes you're going to have to go and just dance like crazily just to let some energy out, because there's negative energy hoarding inside you that is just wanting you to keel over and just lie on the couch. That's the energy. So it's like, I don't want to let this energy win right now. So it's going out of your way and acting silly, faking, like having a fake laugh, because the body doesn't recognize between a fake laugh and a real laugh. That is science proven right there.
yeah.
So doing those things that sometimes feel silly and out of this world, it's like, but that's what kids do. So getting into our kid-like but childlike behaviors, like that's what wins and owns the day. And that's what it does take. Like, this is not like so many people like Tony Robbins, Gabrielle Bernstein, Mel Robbins, like every one of those people do all this type of stuff because they know that, when they're having those shitty days, but they still need to show up and own a presentation and do that. Like that's what they do. Like Tony Robbins jumps on his little trampoline because he has to shake that energy off. So it's like, what are you going to do to shake that energy off? And do it and keep doing it until you start knowing that that's part of your exercise that you have to do to tap into the feeling good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. One of the people I know, she actually uses tribal beat music. And that it almost like it comes from the ground, it comes from the earth, and it's just the energy that you get, and just the turning the conscious off and just letting it fly and
Getting
dancing
lost in the music. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's energy, it pumps you up, it's a release, it's good for you, music makes you happy. It's a win-win all the way around.
Oh, totally. That is a huge one. That, like, I'm glad that you brought that one up, because that is one that we had to do also in our Own the Greatness class. It was like interpretive dancing. Whatever you're hearing in the music, just allow yourself to close your eyes and just allow your body just to feel the music and get yourself grounded and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're totally in a different mind space. Like, there's no way that you can still be in the same one after that, unless you're like, basically, no, I shouldn't deserve to feel this way, because then your mind's getting back in there. So if it feels good, allow allow whatever you're feeling to feel. That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if you said that person that possibly could, well, I don't deserve to be, maybe not today, keep trying.
Yes.
Because you never know. Tomorrow might be the time when it just snaps and it lets loose, and the whole thing is totally different for you. And yeah, I love this. This is a fantastic topic. So Amanda, what would you tell our listeners 3 things that they could do right now to actually improve their mindset and maybe their approach to their health and wellness?
Nice. Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm telling. Like, I'm doing an 8-week series right now with my boot campers, and each week I'm giving them a challenge. So I'm going to just give the foundational stuff the 3 that I do for the first 3 weeks. So my first one is to make time for you, whether it's 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 20 minutes. Start off with 5, something that's very easy, making time for you. Because again, I know people feel so selfish to do that, but when you can actually create that space, and even if it's just 5 minutes more in the morning, lying even on your bed and just thinking about how you want your day to feel, how you want it to go, you're putting that intention out there that you are creating this amazing day for yourself. Number 2 would be move your body. moving your body, whether that be going for a walk, whether that be jumping up and down 10 times or taking 10 deep belly breaths, or just like laughing, moving that body and getting that heart rate going, getting that, the sensory to feel something is going to definitely set your day on the right foot as well. And my number 3 is to definitely drink water. Because right now I do feel that it's like we're in a season where water doesn't come naturally for us to drink every day. And, starting your day with a lemon water, like is probably asking for too much, but at the same time, I do believe that it gets the body alkalized. It gets you to start detoxifying. It helps the skin. It makes you drink even more water at the same time. So starting your day with those 3 things, moving your body, making time for yourself, and drinking water, you're already setting yourself up for success. And those are the most easiest, simplest things you could do. But that's why it's so easy and simple. And that's why people don't do it, is because it doesn't take effort, but it does take a lot of effort because you have to put yourself in that calendar. You have to schedule yourself. So that's why I say start off with 5 minutes, because, you need to recharge, and what your day is going to basically be going to the work, your kids, making food, errands, like everything like that. So if you can't make 5 minutes for yourself, then nothing else is gonna, you're not going to drink the water and you're not going to move the body. So it's like, how do I want to feel today? Think about that. And then I guarantee you from there, you're going to start smiling a little bit more because you did something different today. And the thing is, you did something for yourself.
And that's key, right? Absolutely key. And that's fantastic wisdom. Thank you for that. That is
You're welcome.
incredible. And Amanda, I've loved having you here today. And I really think we need to do this again, because I think there's so many different topics we could touch on. And, will you come back?
I would love to come back.
Your
energy is so delightful. And honestly, because you feel it, you're able to tell your own experiences. And through both of ours, everyone knows that they're not alone in these feelings. Like, these are very normal. It's just like not letting it get the best of you. So that I think helping people through this is the best thing we can do for them right now.
I agree. And that's why I created Powering Through Life, is because yes, I've been through it. I know you've been through it, but there is someone out there. And if we can just reach that one person and make a difference in one person's life today, then I'm happy. It's been a fulfilling day. And, we need to do more of this. So how can our guests get in touch with you, Amanda?
Well, I am on social media. They can definitely look up my name, Amanda Gazzola, on Facebook. I also have a page called Relove and Rise, and also have Instagram at Amanda Gazzola. Or you can definitely email me at amanda@reloveandrise.com. And it's RELOVEANDRISE.com.
That's fantastic. I love that. That's a great name. It's fantastic. How did you come up with that?
A lot of definitely soul searching. I went through so many business names, but this one, why it started off with that is because, you're learning to fall back in love with yourself, and you're learning to rise and grow. And so in that, I wanted to call it Relove and Rise, because I think that, when you can love yourself, you can love you can love everybody. You can love everyone even more than you already do, because it's coming from in, and you're being able to rise above it.
Well, that's true. And, I've learned too, that if you can't feel the self-love, then you really can't give it for anyone else, because you don't even have it for yourself. And that's where it needs to start, is right here. Don't they say something starts at home? Well, this is home, right?
120%. And that's why making time for yourself, you got to get to know yourself, go on dates with yourself, understand yourself, so that you can start figuring out what it is you need to do to make that change.
Sounds scary, but I think it's worth it in the long run.
We're worth it.
We absolutely are. Amanda, thank you so much for being with us today. And I know we're going to have some great feedback from the listeners. So get in touch with Amanda if you have any questions, or just want to reach out, or maybe grab a copy of her book. Where is it available? Amazon?
It's on Amazon right now. Yep. It's on Amazon right now. Perfect.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us today. And if you're looking for information on my coaching programs, you can reach me at teresasims.com. Check out my website, give me a message. Let me know what you think of our interviews, and if there's any particular topic that you'd like to have us present. So thanks again for joining us on Powering Through Life.
That brings to a close another great, inspiring interview on Powering Through Life. Thank you to my incredible guest for sharing your thoughts and wisdoms with our listeners. If you would like to connect with us, go to www.teresasims.com, and there you will also find all the previous segments from many amazing and inspiring people. Remember, don't be shy. Reach out if you have any questions, or just leave me a comment. So thank you once again for listening to Powering Through Life.